Kanye West and Ty Dolla Sign just dropped the first single for their upcoming collab album. The song is called Vultures. It features Bump J, and by the looks of it, we're going to have the album really soon. So if you guys want to stay tuned with this entire rollout, make sure to hit that notification bell to not miss a single video, and smash that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And by the way, guys, I am riding solo today, Ants Away from the City. But let's get into this song because there's a lot to go into, starting off with the fact that it was premiered a couple of days back on the Chicago radio station, which is actually hosted by DJ Harris, and he's the one that comes into this song at the beginning and screams out the iconic "It's Chicago," that whole tag. That's him. So that was a cool moment for him to premiere it on a Chicago radio station. And when it did premiere, I had just heard a snippet, and it sounded pretty fire to me. I didn't really hear all that much of it, but now that we have the full 4-minute song, the first thing I want to mention is that not having Lil Durk, featured on this final version is a massive L, just because he brought a lot of life to this track, to be honest with you. If you look at everybody's performance, he was the one that brought the most energy. He was the one that seemed the most engaged throughout his verse. The flows were hitting, and it felt like one of my favorite Durk performances in recent memory, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with that. But the song starts off, and we have production where we have these really creepy and epic synthesizers that come into it, and that sort of launches us into this darker atmosphere that this track holds. And then as you sort of progress, the beat continues to build. You get these 808s and kick drums, and it does feel somewhat triumphant, but I feel like the production really climaxes once you get into Ty Dolla Sign's performance, and you have this lighter tone, which perfectly matches Ty Dolla Sign's wavier performance, where he's sort of being more melodic. But let's get into Bump J, who has the first verse on this track, and he doesn't really offer that much, to be honest with you. He has this sort of slow monotone cadence that reminds me of West Side Gun. And to be honest with you, even with bars about him turning 10 bricks into 12, I almost wish that it was West Side Gun instead of Bump J, even though I understand the reason for that Chicago connection. But let's get into Kanye West, because there's been a lot of narratives lately about Kanye West's music not being as good as it was. I mean, after getting Donda 2 and after hearing some feature performances on songs from Fabio Foreign and a couple of other artists, it felt like as of late, Kanye West's creative process was a bit rushed, and that he was giving us these unfinished verses, he was mumbling a little bit, and that was excusable for something like a Donda 2 where you never really had a complete album. But now going into this song, I sort of got that vibe again, where Kanye wasn't giving us his best effort. It sounded a bit rushed. And to be honest with you, when I look at Bump J and Kanye West performances, it felt like this song was co-produced by NyQuil, because the performances are really sleepy. You're not getting that much energy from Kanye West, and Kanye West is going back into his secular bag. He's going full demon mode here. He's doubling down on the controversy, and that was really surprising as well, just because when you look at some of the rumors that came from different sources, such as TMZ or Forbes, the word around the street was that Kanye West was going to stay away from the controversy, but it seems like he decided to sort of play into it with the track. But lyrics aside, just looking at it for the bars, the flows, the performance itself, nothing too spectacular from Kanye, really underwhelming. And yeah, I was really surprised that he didn't really seem to try for a lead single, for a song that should be making a statement. It just didn't do much for me. But now going into Ty Dolla Sign, I feel sort of mixed about the performance. I think the vocal mixing for Ty's vocals didn't really sound all that clean. When it comes to the beginning of his performance, I feel like that's where he strives, giving us these melodic flows, rapping about the tragic passings of Takeoff and one of his close friends. I feel like when you're getting the more serious Ty Dolla Sign, who isn't afraid to sort of get pressing topics, stuff that's weighing down on him off of his shoulders, sort of treating the song like a bit of a therapy session. That was cool for the beginning of it. Then you go into the second half of his performance, and you're getting some bars like these. She Russian, I beat up the pussy for Ukraine. Like really, bro? And then you also get bars like badass bitch from the middle East wanna lick on me. And to be honest, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Like I can't even front. And what was also sort of out of place, and I feel like that's the case with this song, is that it feels disjointed. It feels like the chemistry is not on par between all three artists. Besides that intro you got where you had this really nicely sung duet between Ye and Ty Dolla Sign at the very start of the song, I would have liked for that to have been expanded upon, to be honest with you. But no real signs of any, good interplay between the artists on the track. And speaking about the outro of the song, we got this 3-6 Mafia sample that came in that was really out of nowhere, to be honest with you. And I feel like in 2023, it's becoming a cliche for hip hop artists to just sample a 3-6 Mafia song just because. And there's nothing sonically within that sample that really ties back to the vibe or the feeling of this track besides the rapper 11 rapping about dollar signs, which obviously plays into Ty Dolla Sign's rapper name, woohoo. But again, just did not belong, didn't really fit. And yeah, I just feel like it's not a horrible track, but I do wish that there was more synergy between all of the artists. I felt like the writing was subpar. The production was a highlight, but I feel like with this type of epic sounding beat, I would have liked for Kanye to give us a performance like he had on the song Cold, for example, where he's really going off, rapping a bit quicker with a bit more intention. And to be honest with you, this song feels stale off of Impact. It feels like if you remove it from Kanye West's canon, it doesn't affect his catalog all that much just because there's nothing refreshing. Like, this is someone who is supposed to be boundary pushing, and this just sort of felt one-dimensional. It didn't feel new. It didn't feel creative. And it's underwhelming that this is the taster for the album that is to come. So hopefully there's going to be some better tracks on the way. Hopefully the album could live up to other collab albums we've seen from Kanye in the past, like a Watch the Throne or like a Kids See Ghosts. But we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, hopefully the situation unravels quickly. Hopefully we don't have to wait till 2025 to get the entire album. So we'll see what ends up happening, guys. But let me know down in the comments, what did you think of the song? I personally think that it's mid. I'm not a big fan of it. But guys, let me know down in the comments your thoughts. And as I mentioned earlier, we are going to be keeping you guys updated with this entire rollout. So make sure to hit that notification bell and the subscribe button if you're new. And we'll be bringing you guys through this rollout and talking about upcoming singles. Of course, when the album comes out, we'll be doing a first thoughts video, a review, and much more. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.